Hello, beautiful people. The Inferno, the Temptation Podcast, episode 13. Today, we're going to briefly discuss what the purpose of ghosting is. So, this is something people have done for a long time. However, in the day of social media and, a lot of people connecting through social media and cell phones, it's become an issue that's very rampant. At the end of the day, ghosting is a very immature act. And a lot of times this will be brought on by somebody who is immature. And what is ghosting? Ghosting is when you've been interacting with somebody, you've been building a relationship with somebody, or even been in a relationship with somebody. I had this happen after 12 years, but it was not the first time that it happened. Ghosting is they will go radio silent. They won't say much to you. This can happen even if it's people that want to leave the door open, right? They don't want to be an adult and talk to you to let you know what's going on within them. They just really want to just go silent on you. So I first want to say, never be afraid of losing somebody that is intentionally not afraid of losing you. I made the mistake by trying to reach out. Again, this was 12 years, but it happened several times when my ex worked out of town as well. I never should have tolerated it, where they just go radio silent on you, won't reply to your text, won't answer your phone calls. So what is the purpose of ghosting? This can be an avoidance of accountability on the person who is toxic, immature. So what they'll do is just skate, go radio silent, ghost you. The second reason this can happen is if they are entertaining somebody else, their next supply. So they will go radio silent with you because they've already groomed somebody else. They already got this next person in alignment for them to jump to, which, the community of relationships calls this monkey branching. I call it slithering off to their next entertainment. So ghosting is very immature. Again, if somebody goes radio silent on you, don't bother wasting your time. It is so immature. Do you really want to be in a relationship with somebody else who can't communicate with you what is happening? Another reason for ghosting is if you have figured out that this person is toxic and they're playing their games or entertaining somebody else, they want you to go silent as well. So they will silence you by ignoring you so that you do not communicate with this next person. Don't waste your time. They've already groomed them. They're not going to believe the truth anyway because they've already been lied to, deceived that you're the problem. So ghosting is just that. It seems like you're doing fine, you're going along well, and then they just radio silent. Here's some red flags that I ignored that I would suggest that you do not ignore. So a lot of times in these toxic people, they will have more than one cell phone. For my case is together with this person 12 years and they changed their phone number probably at least 6 times. When they worked out of town, they ghosted me. I had no idea why. Again, I mistaken it all for alcohol. It's not just alcohol. It's an immaturity. It's an unhealed person who can't be authentic and trustworthy and has a shitty communication skill. They choose this. So ghost me, probably most likely, without a shadow of a doubt, entertaining somebody else. And believe it or not, I was married to this person that was doing it. I am now seeing my fault in ignoring red flags because it happened after the discard and I was ghosted again. Had the same number for a while. Soon as he left me, which he didn't tell me that he was entertaining somebody else, of course, but he was at work and immediately moved from our home to this person's home and changed their phone. He changed his phone number within 10 days, less than 10 days, 12 days. So that is also ghosting. So they could be somebody that is changing their phone number a lot. This is somebody that would be, when they're around you, have a new passcode on their phone so you don't have, they become very secretive. And if you ask them about this, if you've been in an established relationship with them and you ask about it, they'll tell you you're invading their space. For me, my phone's always been just open and available because I am very trustworthy and I'm honest. This person's, when they started entertaining somebody else at work, they had a new passcode. And here's another red flag too. When their phone all of a sudden goes completely silent and there's no more ringtone. And I had a specific one that was for me with this ex-husband that would be a song playing when I was the love of his life, right? Did nothing wrong to this person, and all of a sudden I became their enemy. They're always in opposition with you. They're never in a team player. They actually project onto you what they are. So if you're authentic and true, in their mind still, you're the cheater, you're untrustworthy. They are very messed up people. What they talk about in the Bible is reprobate mind. So this is somebody that continually doing, lying, deceiving, betraying others and themselves. They're actually given over to a reprobate mind, and that cycle will continue. So the ghosting is to silence you. The ghosting is for them to not be held accountable. And the ghosting can also happen when they've entertained their next supply and they want your voice silenced. You've figured out who they are. You've figured out what they're truly about, which is deception. And they don't want you to connect with that new shiny toy that they've bounced off to, because you could become a real big threat in their phase of love bombing and putting on a new mask for a new character, because this is what they do. They're shapeshifters. And so do not be afraid to lose people that are not afraid to lose you. They're not worth your time. Don't waste another day of your life trying to reach out to them. If they've ghosted you, they are immature. They do not have the adult skills to be an open communicator, and they'll never be authentic with you. Anything else before we close this podcast off? So when they go radio silent on you, it is a decision that they've intentionally made. That right there should show you the level of disrespect. So know that you are better and more worthy of the silent treatment, of ghosting. And again, with the modern day connection of social media and cell phones, it's really sad, because if you go out and about in restaurants even and look at people, there's like 9 out of 10 people usually with their faces in their devices and not communicating with each other. So, anything else? Oh, segregation. Let's talk about that real quick. If you have a gathering with them, and be very observant of this, they will break off away from you into other little cliques. They are like the cliques in school. They'll segregate off into groups because they don't want to collaborate with the whole group entirely. They want to be able to break off, get that attention in the different groups, the segregating, the branching off from you, especially if you're in a relationship with these people and you notice that every time you're out and about into a public atmosphere that they kind of distance themselves from you or segregate from you. Red flag. Locked phones, red flags. Silence on their phones when they've always had a ringtone for you, red flag. And again, if they ghost you and go radio silent, don't waste your time. You are worthy of so much more. I made the mistake in the beginning after 12 years, married, got blindsided by this person, had left me spinning intentionally because that's what they do. And then I was ghosted. Not just by this person, but to all of their flying monkeys that they already smeared me and my daughter to. All of them got ghosted. And so it's very immature. And if you have them and they're in a family dynamic and their entire family ghosts you, they are just as toxic. And like I've said on whatever episode it was, if you see that dynamic in a family, the sad part for the person who you've seen goodness in, that's another episode I'm going to be doing. and they're still choosing the toxicity of the flying monkeys and those enablers, run for the fucking hills. The whole unit, a lot of times it is the females. It is the matriarch. It is the mother, the grandmother, the sister-in-law. A lot of times it's the females. Run for the fucking hills. Do not allow yourself to be segregated by somebody who's supposed to be telling you they love you and showing you that they love you. They will include you in things. They will never ghost you. Do not ignore that. I should have let this person go years ago when I was ghosted. He worked out of town. I'm at home, keeping the home and the nest running, supportive, taken care of, supporting him emotionally, spiritually, biggest cheerleader. I got ghosted. He was entertaining somebody else. They're avoiding actions that are shady because they don't want to be held accountable, and they're entertaining other sources of supply. Much love to you. You are so much more worthy of being ghosted and silenced. So rise up, put yourself first, draw a line in the sand. Much love to you. Shalom, shalom.